And welcome back to the Correspondents on Voice of America. I'm Arash in Washington. Well, Ukraine is not just facing off against Russia. Kyiv is also dealing with a series of pro-Russian demonstrations inside its borders. Protesters have taken over government buildings in two eastern cities. The acting president has tried to cool the crisis by offering amnesty to those who put down their weapons and go home. Now, here in Washington, U.S. diplomats say there's evidence of Russian involvement in the building takeovers.
The events in Ukraine are a wake-up call for all of us. Everything we have stood for over 40 years as a community of free nations is at risk if we allow aggressive acts to go unchecked and unpunished.
And for perspective on the Ukraine crisis, we are joined by Miroslava Gongadze from VOA's Ukrainian service and VOA producer Arash Arabasad, who just returned from assignment in Kyiv. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
I'm going to start with you, Miroslava. Do we know for sure that Russia is behind these building takeovers? And if that is true, what is Kyiv prepared to do about it?
I mean, definitely that Russia is instigating this takeovers and instigating this demonstration. Because if it would be a natural demonstration, it should have been started right after the revolution won, so like months ago. But nothing happened back then, and new Ukrainian government didn't do any change in policies, and Eastern Ukraine and represented by the same deputies in the parliament. So nothing basically changed. What changed that Russia invaded Ukraine, Russia took over Crimea, and now Russia is trying to destabilize the situation in the eastern border to destabilize and prevent election happening on May 25th.
So you see the hand of Vladimir Putin behind this aggressive moves. Now, Arash, in the short time that you were in Kyiv, did you get a sense of that anti-Russian sentiment? Is that clear in Kyiv?
I think the bigger sense was a pro-Ukrainian sentiment. And first of all, she's a celebrity, so it's exciting for me to see her because everybody was asking me about her. But yeah,
everybody knows Miroslava there.
Everybody, but there's a feeling of unity, and it's hard to avoid that. It's like everyone is really pulled together in the streets of Kyiv.
So what we have instead is what we've talked about already, an east-west divide. But I guess my question, is it fair that Ukraine has to actually choose between east and west?
There is no east-west divide. It's Russia is instigating only 10% of eastern Ukrainian population actually, according to the latest poll, wants to be a separate region. Nobody wants to really, 8% only wants to join Russia, only in three oblasts, Luhansk, Donetsk, and Kharkiv. There's no east-west divide. We have to kind of make it clear. Destabilization the situation, that's the main goal of Russia. And they're doing it not only by instigating this protest, but as well as pressuring Ukraine on the economic side.
But Miroslava, you have to be concerned that we could see another referendum somewhere in one of those eastern.
How? There's no law that
there was no law
that,
in Crimea when that
but
happened.
Russia just took over, and so if Russia would not invade, there would be no referendum. So
okay.
We cannot.
Arash, when you had a chance to sort of mingle with the people in Kyiv there, what is your sense of this? Are their concerns mostly political or economic?
Definitely, the economic I didn't feel. The political I definitely felt. And again, it was a unity thing that, like we're saying here, Russia is kind of pushing people apart where there really is a sense of unity otherwise.
The beauty about what you do is you get to travel to all of these different places.
Awesome.
Having been to Kyiv, does it change your perspectives on what you see in the news every day?
Yeah, absolutely. And like I was saying before we came on, I've felt a solidarity with Ukrainian people that I haven't felt in any other story that I've done. There's such a good sense, a positive sense of unity, and it was great to be a part of that, great to be in the street, and great to get that feel. And I love your country. It was awesome to go see it.
Thank you. I love it.
We're so glad you made it back, and you had some interesting stories to tell. But Miroslava, the Ukraine crisis obviously has dominated the news cycle for weeks. Are you at all optimistic that we can find a diplomatic solution to this?
I'm optimistic on the long run, but it would be tough. It would be tough, and it would not be pretty in a short term. Because if even the election would happen on May 25th, then we need a new parliamentary election, another way of demonstration. Then Russia is pressuring Ukraine on a gas situation. Ukraine, I talked to the
But even the parliament, let me just interrupt you. We're running out of time.
Yeah.
Even parliament seems to be a little bit divided. We saw a little bit of a skirmish in parliament. I think you can see it on our screen.
That's nothing new. That's always happened in Ukraine. I actually was joking. My kids were showing me, just like, guys, nothing really happened. That's just.
This is all part of the course.
This is very mild. This is very mild.
Is this part? You didn't see this on the streets, did
No,
you?
I was
Arash?
looking for it. No, I didn't see it. No, I did see some very somber stuff on the streets. I mean, everything being real. There was memorials and flowers and bullet holes, but you know, I didn't see
They're
anything
beating
like
off
this.
with the communists right now.
Well, I hope
so.
these folks have health care.
They do. They have a lot of money, so don't worry about them.
So what happens next in Ukraine?
Next, I mean, I hope the new election, new president, new parliamentary election, economic crisis. We have. I talked to the Minister of Economy and head of National Bank yesterday night. They told me that they have a gas only until the election. So Russia is stopping delivering gas. Ukraine owe a lot of money now. They don't pay because they say with the Crimea, nobody knows who owe whom. So it would be tough.
Okay. And Arash, next hotspot is what? Iraq?
Yeah, you know, my passport's ready. So.
Stay put in the newsroom for a few weeks at least. Thank you, Miroslava and Arash.
Thanks for having us.
Still ahead, democracy, South Asian style. Just a reminder, too, that we want to hear your questions and comments. Share your thoughts with us on our Facebook page. The address is VOA The Correspondents. We'll be right back.